Not going to be able to play this game, but for Russell Wilson, we've seen enough. The Giants turning to Jameis Winston. The range of outcomes is breathtaking with Jameis Winston. He could hang 40 on the Packers. He could throw 4 interceptions. He could do both. That's what's awesome about that. It'll be a lot of fun. I don't know if he can win the game for the Giants, but it sure is going to be fun.
And the post-game sound is always worth sticking around for.
Especially if he's eating dub.
The king of post-game sound, Mr. Bart Scott, what are you looking forward to?
Listen, I want to see if this Eagles defense is too legit to quit like Hammer. You talk about Howie Roseman, what he was able to do. Did he do it again by going out and get Jalen Phillips to kind of complement Nolan Smith, who came back? It's this pass rush here because that secondary has been elite all season, but they haven't been able to get to the quarterback in the rate that they did last year. Are they back, and did Howie do it again?
Okay, let's go to that game because it's one of the premier matchups. It's such a good slate this week. There's so many good games. Let's start with that one, though. Philly, Detroit. Graz, I go to you. Do you expect the Lions offense, with Dan Campbell calling the plays, to be muzzled by that Philly defense?
I think they'll do better than Green Bay did. I think the Lions have more ways to go with their offense right now than the Packers do, and I think it's a tougher test for Philadelphia. If they can keep the pass rush off of Jared Goff at all. I think you saw last week them incorporating Jameson Williams more in the offense. I think they found a way to unlock Jahmyr Gibbs, who was kind of shut down by the Vikings the week before. Dan Campbell has, I think what he's telling his first-year coordinator, John Morton, is, like, we've got some guys. Like, let's make sure we incorporate them into the game plan. Players over plays. I think that is the switch you saw from the Detroit offense last week, and I do think it can continue against the Eagles.
A.J. Brown in the news, of course, for all the stuff that was said from, I guess Monday to Friday. But on Sunday, do you think this is a game where A.J. Brown can get his and make a real difference in this game?
Look, 1,000% thanks to him. But in this stat, when you look at Detroit defensively in their secondary, they play a lot of man coverage, the second highest rate in the NFL, 57% right now. The chess piece to that, will Kelvin Shepard, their defensive coordinator for the Lions, will he switch things up knowing that they're a little banged up in the secondary? He did that versus the Cincinnati Bengals. If he does not do that, then look for A.J. Brown to have, I would say, about 8 to 9 catches for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's a lot, asking for a guy who had 3 targets last week.
Which is very inexcusable. There should never be a football game, in my opinion, with A.J. Brown, who I still feel like is a top 3 wide receiver in the league, where he has 2 or 3 catches. That is organizational malpractice, in my opinion.
Did you have a problem with him speaking out like he did?
No, I did not. And here's the thing, y'all. It's okay to be thankful for winning the previous season, but not being satisfied by what's transpired this season. We all see it. We talk about it every single week. The Philadelphia Eagles and that offense not being what it was a season ago. The run game is not hitting on all cylinders. The pass game is not there. The offensive line is not the same. So I don't have a problem with a guy who cares about the game of football and loves and wants the best for his team. Like, when has that become a problem for guys to voice their opinion about something that's not going right? And I'll also take it another step to this place right here, Strags. I look at the Detroit Lions. And I look at Dan Campbell as their leader and their orchestrator that said, man, this doesn't look the way it should look. I'm taking over play call duties. Okay. Now, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, at some point, will that be Nick Sirianni, who is an offensive-minded head coach who previously called plays for the Indianapolis Colts? At some point, if it's not looking the way it's supposed to look, because at this junction right now, I don't feel like the Philadelphia Eagles can win a Super Bowl with the way this offense is going, when you have other teams out there who have firepower offensively and defensively, will Nick Sirianni take over and say, you know what, I need to be the overseer. Let me put my team in the best position possible offensively.
That'd be a drastic move considering their record. And Bart, that's what I'm asking you. Like the A.J. Brown comments, it's great for us here on Get Up and First Take, and we have fun with it because it's a real topic for us. Does it really matter in the locker room? Are the players like, dude, why are you going on Twitch and talking bad again? Why are we having to deal with these questions?
He's stating the obvious, right? The same thing make you laugh, make you cry. And listen, something happened in Philadelphia a couple of years ago. The standard and the bar raised, where the expectations isn't having a good record, it isn't winning games, it's about winning championships. And they're in this window where they have a good nucleus of young players. Howie Roseman done it again. He reloaded his roster. He's stating the obvious, right? Like, is he not supposed to say, hey, I can help? Or is he not supposed to say, we're not playing good enough to win a championship? I think the standard should be the standard. If the standard's that high, then I want execution.
It's not go, yeah, Dan.
The other thing is, if he was saying something on Twitch that he wasn't saying in the locker room and in the building, I think then the teammates probably have a problem with it. But I don't think that's what's going on here.
No.
I think A.J. Brown has made it clear to anyone who will listen.
The parking lot meeting, they thought he's been screaming it out.
He didn't get up in front of the media the next day and say, "Oh, that's blown out of proportion." He was like, "Yeah, I meant every word of it, but that's all true."
So, Grods, that's another whole ordeal in this conversation, because how many times has A.J. Brown gone behind the scenes to Nick Sirianni or Kevin Patullo and things aren't changing? So are they ignoring him behind the scenes and not paying attention to what he's saying?
But to your point, Dan Campbell said we got to get Jahmyr Gibbs and we got to make sure that James Winston gets the ball. Like, when do somebody stand on the table and say we got to get A.J. Brown involved?
There's also the idea that you just went to Green Bay, you beat the Packers on national television. It's okay to not say anything. It's okay to let that win.
Be better, and I expect that they will be. I think they're only going to get better on the defensive side of the ball. I like what they've done in the trades and where they're heading. So, hey, they're defending world champs, and so they know what it takes. I really don't worry about them at all. I feel really good about them.
Well, let's talk about the Lions, who they face on Sunday with an offense that wasn't happy with their production either. We had them earlier on in the season. Now Dan Campbell's fully taken over all of the play calling. Troy, what do you anticipate the impact will continue to be there?
Well, time will tell. I think sometimes when you make a change like that, we've seen it a lot over the years, that there's a new sense of urgency amongst the team. They respond to that. They clearly did this last week. I applaud Dan Campbell. I am so impressed with him as a head coach. I love everything about that organization, from the top to the bottom, the way they compete, the messaging. They're an easy team to pull for, and that making that decision is not an easy decision to make. The easy thing to do is just continue along the path that you're on. You know, don't ruffle any feathers, don't do anything dramatic. And I think Dan's done that before. He did it early in his head coaching career, made changes when necessary. And if I'm a player in that locker room, and I've got a head coach who is pushing every button to try to get the very best out of everyone within that locker room and the best out of the coaches and the team, I love that. So I respect the heck out of Dan, and him making that decision is what he felt was best. A lot of coaches think that there's something that's best and don't necessarily do it. He did it, and we'll see how it ends up. But I like the early results.
Yeah, it takes some guts. Something that Dan Campbell's never been lacking, right? Let's look at our Monday night game. Two for the Cowboys offense coming into this. What can Dak and company do to turn things around?
Well, I think it's indicative of just how much they rely on the offense. When you look at the last couple of games, and if they don't play at their best, they're going to have a hard time winning. And it's why they've lost the last two. It's one thing to go to Denver against that group and not have your best effort. It's another thing to return home when you've been putting up 40 points a game in the 3 home games prior to Arizona, and they just didn't play well. And I don't think anybody expected that to happen. But this offense the last 2 weeks has not played very well. They've turned the ball over. I think